We all love stories. Most people love to read them, but there are few who would prefer to listen. So, for those of you who prefer to listen, this is for you. Welcome to the Bible Stories.
Thank you for joining us and welcome to the Bible Stories, home of Bible stories told in an African way and with an African touch. I trust that you are being blessed. I trust that you are enjoying and that you are getting to know more of the Bible. So last week, we were tackling the story of Samson. And today we continue with the story of Samson. I think actually today, I'm going to tell you the last part of it. I don't know, when you were young, did you sing this song? Samsoni alienda soreki, ukoka mpata Delilah. Did you sing that song? So now I'm going to tell you the story of how this happened. So anywho, last week we stopped at where he killed 1,000 Philistines, and then he almost died of thirst, and God provided water miraculously. And then now he became the judge of Israel, so he continued to rule. So Samson never got married again. But now, after some time, he went down to Gaza. I don't know whether Gaza is the now Gaza Strip that we know, but he went down to Gaza. And in Gaza, he saw a prostitute, and he went up to her. Now, Gaza was the Philistine territory. So the Philistines were told, Samson is here. So they decided, we are going to wait. Then we'll capture him in the morning when he's leaving. But Samson decided at midnight to leave. The gates had been closed, the gates to the city. Now, in those days, they used to build up walls for cities, and they had huge gates. Huge, very huge gates. So these gates could not be handled by one person. So see, they locked the gates. Now they are waiting for morning so they can capture Samson. And I'm sure they went to sleep. At midnight, your guy, Samson, he wakes up and he goes and he finds the gates are locked. Guess what he did? He uprooted the gates and he carried them and he took them up a hill. The hill that was overlooking Hebron. So he left them there. Can you imagine what was happening to the Philistines? They were waiting. They were laying in wait to capture this guy. And then not only does he run away before, but he also destroys their gate. One man went up a hill with a gate. And they needed very many people to be able to bring back the gates and to be able to reinstall them. So you can imagine, these guys were angry at Samson. They were so angry at him. Anywho, Samson continued with his life. Now, a few months later, or some time later, let me just say, some time later, he went to Sorek, a place in Philistine territory called Sorek, and he fell in love with a girl called Delilah. So he was living with her. He never married her. He was living with her. And the Philistines came to her, and they told her, chick, we're going to give you 11,000 pieces of silver each if you help us capture this Samson. See, they knew that he loved her. They kind of knew that his weakness was women, because I mean, all this time, it has been women who are bringing him to the Philistine territory. So Delilah began to ask him. She started nicely, softly. So she asked him, Samson, what is the source of your strength? And Samson looked at her and told her, if you bind me with fresh thongs, I'll be as weak as any other man. So there were some Philistine men who were hiding. And so Delilah tied him with fresh thongs. And then she said, hey, Samson, the Philistines are upon you. And dude woke up and he cut them off like it was something very little. And Delilah was like, dude, you lied to me. And then he told her, for me to become as weak as any other man, tie me with fresh ropes, ropes that have never been used. So once again, with men hiding in the house, Delilah ties Samson up. And then she shouts, "Samson, the Philistines are upon you." And once again, he wakes up and he cuts them off. It's like they were a single thread. These are new ropes. He cut them off. And Delilah was annoyed. She's like, "Twice you've made a fool of me. How could you lie to me like that?" Now, you remember Samson, when the mother was told that she was going to get a son, she was told never to put a razor on his head. So now Samson had 7 locks on his hair, on his head. They had never been cut. But it is him and his family who know this thing. The Philistines do not know. So when Delilah is complaining, is nagging him, "Now twice you have made a fool out of me," he tells her, "What you do, you tie my 7 locks to a loom and then add a pin to it, and I'll be as weak as any other man." So when he was asleep, Delilah does the thing, ties his hair up with a loom and then puts a pin, and then again she shouts, "Samson, the Philistines are upon you." And again he wakes up, pop, and he frees himself. And now Delilah is annoyed. She's like, "Oh, you've lied to me 3 times. You've made a fool out of me. You say you love me, but you don't love me, because if you love me, you would tell me the truth." So she kept nagging him, until one day, Samson told her the truth, the secret of his strength. And he told her, "No razor has ever been touched my head." And so one time, Delilah did the thing that we all know her for. She made Samson fall asleep on her laps. And then she called in somebody. Oh, this time now, the Philistines had stopped coming to her house because they had discovered that Samson was making a fool out of her. This time round, she sent for them, and they came with the money, with the silver that they had promised her. So now, see, Samson is asleep on her laps. She called a guy who would shave his head. The guy came and shaved his head. And then she said, "Samson, the Philistines are upon you." And once again, he woke up thinking that it is just as before, that his strength will come and he will free himself. But this time round, the Lord had left him. So there was no strength. And so the Philistines caught him. Now see, he has become like any other man. They caught him and they took him to Gaza. They removed his eyes and they put him in prison. And his work now was grinding grain for the Philistines. Can you imagine? This guy was a judge in Israel, and now this is the work that he's doing. It was very sad. But God is a God of mercy. And anyway, he had given Samson this strength for what? To deliver Israel from the Philistines. So I guess while in prison, I guess he started thinking about his life and the decisions that he had made. Yeah. And he repented and he made things right with God. So as he's there in prison, his hair began to grow. Now, one day, the Philistines decided to throw a bash. So they were in the temple of their god. Their god was called Dagon. They're there in the temple. Very many people. The leaders, all the leaders and the rulers of the Philistines were there in the temple. And then upstairs, there were about 3,000 people. They had come. Oh, then they said, "Bring Samson, let him come and entertain us." So all those people were there to watch Samson entertaining them. So Samson was brought in, and he told the person who was bringing him, "Put me near a pillar because I can't see, a place where I can be able to lean myself." So he was put by the pillars. Now, he was at the central pillars of this temple, 2 of them, one to the right, one to the left. And then he prayed. He said, "Lord, give me strength. Let me be able to destroy this temple, and let me get revenge on these Philistines for what they did to me by gouging out my eyes. And anyway, by this time, see, his hair had begun to grow, so he had strength and might. And the Lord answered his prayers. So as the people are celebrating, they're praising their God, they're drinking wine, they're celebrating. Samson now stretched his hands to the pillars, and he pushed with all his might. And the temple came crumbling down, and the people died. Remember, on the roof, there were about 3,000 people. Inside, I'm sure there were more. They all died. Them plus Samson. So the Bible says that at his death, he killed more men than he killed while he was alive. So that ended the reign of Samson. So when he died, his brothers, they came for his remains and they buried him in the tomb of his father. And that was the end. This brings us to the end of the story of Samson. I hope you have been blessed, and I hope that you have learned from it. Till next time, see ya.